Ah, everybody. All right. Welcome to the live show. Hello, everybody. Oh, who's on and who's out there? I don't know how to cancel the. I don't know why this one doesn't go into my live show. I'm doing this on this so I could do. I don't know how to explain it. Hey, actually, I need my mic. I forgot my mic. Oh, I forgot my mic. Okay. Oh, hello, everybody. I don't know how to when I use StreamYard, which I need for two people. I don't know if AK's Nation's going to call in. And I'm going to put them up here. I don't know how to go. It goes to my show, but it doesn't go into the live show that I want it to go into. Anyways, so I can't figure out how to do that. I can do some more research on it. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Five by five. What does that mean? Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I don't agree with AK Nation on that. I understand the concern, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a problem. She's a 37-year-old professional. She wants to win. Caitlin Clark wants to win. It's not like it's Kennedy Carter. You know, it'll work out. Christy Sides is not the coach anymore. We got Stephanie White. I think she'll be able to handle the personalities on the team. Caitlin Clark is mature. She just wants to win. You're going to turn down Bonner just because she's married to, sorry. I just don't agree with AK Nation on this one. I don't agree with him that Fly J. Johnson's the best player in women's basketball. I said that in the beginning of the year. But he's a good guy. He taught me how to do some things today on this technical stuff. Yeah, gosh, that was impressive, right? I don't know what happened to him in the second quarter, but that was impressive. The other 3 quarters, Iowa was impressive. So I mean, I don't know. I don't want to pick on Juju Watson, but Juju Watkins, but I know that's Alyssa Thomas. They're two different people. Like if your father does something, let's say your father gets arrested. Well, it's his son. Well, it's two different people. That's all I can say. Two different people. Bonner wants to win a championship. Bonner knows. This proves what we've been saying all along. I'm not just saying Rob and myself. I'm saying you guys too. We all knew how good Caitlin Clark was, and we knew everybody else knew. They just didn't want to say it in public. Okay, so you're comparing Bonner to Hitler Jr. Okay, we'll see. I think it'll work out just fine. If she's a major problem, then you'd be right. If she's not a major problem, you'll be wrong. We'll find out. I would have signed her. I wouldn't have turned down that type of talent. And they signed her to a 1-year contract. So if she's a problem, they're only stuck there for a year. Creighton Clark's 23. Her career's not going to be over with at the end of this year. I didn't say I didn't have a concern. I'm just saying I would have signed her. There's a difference. They signed her to a 1-year contract, probably because she's 37 years old, but I might have signed her to a 2-year contract if she's playing like she's 33. But we'll see. When more people come on the show, I'm going to give you my predictions. Listen to Boxing and Bulldog. He's right. It's exactly what I'm saying. You guys are taking this too far. She's gonna want to win. She's gonna go on that court and forget all about who she's engaged to, and she's gonna go out and ball out for the Indiana Fever because she wants to win a championship. If she didn't want to win a championship, she wouldn't have come. She would have signed with Dallas or something. You know. I thought Bonner was 37. How did she get 39 already? She's 37. Let me look her up. What's her first name? I'm going to discuss all the free agent moves. I'm going to wait a few more people to show up. I'm going to discuss everything that's happened in the last week. I'm going to tell you my feelings. I think Thomas is less likely to do anything to Clark because Bonner's on the team. She didn't want to piss Bonner off. So I think that helps Clark when they play. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid, but that's what I think. Let me see here. I thought Bonner was 37. You got him at 38 by the end of the year. She may be 38 by the end of the year. She signed into a 1-year contract, so what's the big deal? What's the danger? Caitlin Clark isn't going to retire after this year. I would take the chance, which they did. Okay, she's 37. You guys are a year off. You said she'll turn 38 October 21st. So that she's not 38 going to turn 39. Okay, well, there's risk with every free agent you sign. I think a lot of the players hate Caitlin Clark, but out of jealousy and envy, not because of her personality. But it's just the ones that are smart sign with the Fever. Stephanie White is smart, and I think she's a no frills type of coach. Yeah, I don't know why you guys are aging her by 1 year. Just like Mick couldn't figure out how old what's her name was, Paige was. Even after I corrected him, he told me I was an idiot. I go, really? You're wrong. He didn't know it was me. Really? I wasn't looking at Juju. She looked jealous of Caitlin. Why would she be jealous of Caitlin? She's only 19 years old. So, I don't know when you're jealous of someone when you're that age, someone that's got that. Okay, I've been through this before. Ideology does not happen in a vacuum. It gets magnified by the jealousy and the enviness of it. You can. I'm not going to argue with you about it anymore. Ideology is not enough to do that. Look up the mission. Look up the definition of ideology. Yeah. Juju went and scored when they were down by 9 points with 2 seconds left, just to pad her points by 2 points. A few games ago, she was in the fourth quarter when they won by 50 points. Her and her coach, it doesn't look good. All right. Effing you. I'm in a good mood. But you guys. Yeah. Juju's. I'm sorry to say, Juju is overrated. I think Mick has her overrated defensively. He thinks she's like the greatest defensive player in the world. I think she's an excellent defensive player, but not a great defensive player. She's not consistent enough on defense. Yeah, that's true, but she's not going to break her records. And first of all, even if she breaks her scoring record, Caitlin Clark was like third all time in assists too, and first in scoring. Juju's never going to approach that. Yeah. I don't think Juju's freshman year was an illusion. In fact, I think she's better than she was as a freshman. She's shooting at a higher percentage, and she has more assists than turnovers. Last year she had more turnovers than assists. That's not really the point. The point is she scored a lot of points freshman year because she took a lot of shots. She had a bad shooting percentage. And then they wanted to crown her as Michael Jordan when she hadn't established herself as that. That's the problem. Yeah, and she's not nearly as exciting as Caitlin Clark. She may be a better athlete, but she's not more exciting. The point is on the top of your head, Marcus. What point? It's going to be a good year for the Fever. At 6:30, I'm going to give you all my predictions. I'll wait for everybody to get on board. The girl of Florida State. Was it Nia Latson? Is that her name? I don't know how to pronounce her first name unless I'm looking at it. Eric, what's up, Eric? You're leaving already? You just got here. What's 38-6? Tania Latson. Yeah, Juju gets a nice whistle. She gets a better whistle than Caitlin Clark does. That first drive to the basket where she got the and what's Fever 38-6? Yeah, I can see that. 38-6 is, yeah, it's like, let me see, they're playing 44 games, right? I was thinking there's no reason. There's no reason. Would you have 38-6? I was thinking there's no reason they couldn't win 85% of their games. I said to myself today. I was thinking 4 out of 5, 80%. No, they can do better than that. And I said 9 out of 10. No, that's too high. I was thinking 85%. And I was like doing something. I was washing the dishes or something, and I just multiplied 44 times 85%. That's 37.4. So, John, I'm going to agree with you. 38-6 is what I think they're going to go. Because I was thinking 85% of the games I think they could win. Because I think they can win more than 4 out of 5, and not as good as 9 out of 10. Now that's without injuries. So you get injuries, you know. Well, I'd rather win a championship and not worry about whether it was organic or not. I just think they want to speed things up. They're going to still develop things organically, although I'm not sure I like that waving grace. Yeah, they're likely to have injuries. So 38-6 is probably a little ambitious. But that team healthy could go 38-6. That'd be 34-10. It could be. It's going to be in that area. They're going to be up there. They didn't announce the price for Bonner at all. When I have this chart on who's in. By the way, they have too many people on their roster still. I don't know what they. I don't know what does this team have against young guards? They just keep waving them and keep leaving Saxon on the team. Will someone explain that to me? I know Saxon makes, whatever, 65,000. Big deal. What's the difference between 65 and 75,000? 10,000. I know. Let me get my other cup of tea. They waived Paxton today. You mean Saxton? Saxton or Paxton? Saxton. Her name's Saxton, isn't it? It's Victoria, like Saxton. Oh, okay. I was wondering when they were going to waive her. Saxon should have been waived last year instead of Celeste Taylor. Elizabeth Ryan, that's Mark. You learn to live with it. Well, I was thinking of John Paxton. I wasn't making fun of you. I just said, who's Saxton? Who's Paxton? I thought she should have been waived a long time ago, but they picked up that guard. What was her name? Let me see the roster they have. Jalea Brown, right? I saw highlights of her, and she's athletic, but she's not a point guard. So who's their backup point guard? Now they have, if she's on the roster, Brown's only 68K. So anyways, but yeah, Mick was making the argument that Saxon wasn't waived because she made 10,000 less than Grace Berger. And I said, that's not the reason. Wallace is a point guard. Oh. If Caitlin Clark gets injured, they're in trouble. They don't have a point guard. I'm not losing any sleep over Victoria Saxton being waived, although she could be better than I think she is. I just think Grace Berger was pretty versatile. It looks like she could play with Caitlin Clark as a shooting guard if she needed to for a few minutes, and then also played the 6 minutes as a point guard. Wallace. Christy Wallace is a point guard. Is she really a point guard? Okay, so I am not so sure this draft is deep. If you look at all the juniors and sophomores, in college right now, I am not convinced this draft is deep. I'm convinced there's a lot of talent in women's basketball, but I'm not convinced this is a deep draft. I think it's an illusion that because we're following women's basketball more closely, I'm not sure this is a deep draft. I'm not going to say what Gino says, but I'm just saying it's probably an average draft. Because look at all the talent that are juniors and sophomores this year in college. It seems like they're going to have more depth than this year. I could be wrong, but we'll see. So I'm not saying it's a bad draft. I originally said, oh, yeah, this draft seemed deep. And then I thought about it later, and I corrected my thought process when I decided that the sophomores and Rob and I were talking about how many good freshmen, not freshmen, yeah, and sophomores and juniors there are. They didn't have to cut Grace. They did. They could have waived Brown if they wanted to. They obviously think Brown is better than Grace. And she may be a better player, but she's not a point guard. That's the problem. So if Christy Wallace I don't know, is Christy Wallace really a point guard? I've never seen her play point. Christy Wallace could play 6 minutes at point guard. Okay. What did she play when she was in college? She went to Baylor. Let me look up Christy Wallace. She's good enough to play 6 minutes if she can actually be a point guard. I've never really seen her pass that well. It says position, guard, career statistics. All right, Baylor. And Baylor, her junior and senior year, she averaged 5.6 and 5.3 assists a game. For Christy Wallace, that's not bad. Yeah, Christy Wallace and Katie Lou Samuelson are guaranteed for this year. So if they waive them, they still have to pay them, which is why they're still on the team. I think if it was reversed, if Christy Wallace wasn't guaranteed and Grace Berger was, I think Grace Berger would still be on the team. I can almost guarantee that. So Christy Wallace did get a lot of assists, for a junior and senior year in college. Let me see what her WNBA stats are. She averaged like two assists per year. But she was only averaging 20 minutes, 19 minutes, and 17 minutes. So yeah, I agree that Wallace. I don't think Wallace is a good player. Maybe she can play okay for 6 minutes in the right role. Who knows? But I think the only reason she's on the team is because her contract was guaranteed, and they didn't have enough extra money to just waive somebody that they had to pay. So that's how Grace Berger got waived. But that's a shame because Grace Berger is a young player that seemed to have enough talent to come off the bench at least. Maybe not enough talent to start, but enough talent to be a good bench player for her whole career. She'll make it. Someone else will pick Grace Berger up. It will be interesting to see the careers of Celeste Taylor and Grace Berger, because the Fever never gave either one of them a real chance and gave up on both of them. I don't think either one's going to be a superstar, but they both may end up being good players. Yeah, we'll see what Christy Wallace does. I don't understand why Christy Wallace was starting. That's what I'll say that much for sure. Christy caught Caitlin passes. Well, she won't. But if she's the point guard, she won't be on the court at the same time as Caitlin Clark. She'll be the play 6 minutes a game. She's worth 6 minutes a game. She plays average defense. She's not the lockdown defender that Christy Side said she was, but she doesn't play bad defense. She's an average defender, I would say. So I am dying to know what 6 players they saved. Because if they were going to waive Grace Berger, they didn't save her. So, gosh, I don't know. They didn't. So that we'll see. We'll see what's happening. I think they did really well. If Dantas, maybe I wish she was a little quicker, but maybe she's quicker now. She'll come into camp a little lighter, maybe from playing overseas. Maybe she'll lose a couple pounds. At least she can hit the 3. She doesn't have to play a lot of minutes. Don't you want Boston playing at least 30 minutes? She's living on a treadmill. Yeah. Well, Dantas doesn't run the court well with Clark, but she hits the 3, which is good to play with Clark. Yeah. So we'll see. Waving Berger has no impact on her at the cut window. I don't even know what that sentence means. Will they keep Wheeler? Well, Wheeler's not on the roster right now. She's a free agent. They're not going to pay Wheeler the salary she got last year. If Wheeler comes back, she's coming back for $75,000. I think you're going to have trouble with minutes on this team. They have more depth than I was expecting. They did a good job. I had a feeling they were going to be able to pick up free agents. If Wheeler stays, someone's got to get waived. They already have 12 players on the roster, right? They had 13, but they waived Saxton. So they have 12, and they haven't even made a draft pick yet, although they don't have a first-round draft pick, so they're probably. So we'll see. Well, if they bring Wheeler back, yeah, she's a maxed out. They can't bring her back unless they bring her back for $75,000. I don't know if they're allowed to do that. She's a free agent though, so she doesn't have she'd have to start with a new contract. But isn't she after a certain number of years? Aren't you supposed to get a certain number of minimum? I don't know what the rules are. I don't know, Wheeler. It's going to be hard for anyone to pick up Wheeler. All I know is remaining contracts guaranteed. I know. Uh, Caitlin Clark plays for is only one. Caitlin Clark is here. Is that Caitlin Clark is in the thread? Is oh. That must be. Are you woke black man? I'm going to disagree with Bobby on Bonner. I think Bonner was a good pickup. It's a 1-year contract. Given that she's 37, that's probably the way to go. And I'm not sure she's going to fit. But if she's really good, they can just sign her in another 1-year contract the next year. Well, they just Bonner's getting 170. Oh, minimum vet salary is 78K. What if they have 10 years service? I think they're keeping Brown. That's why they waived Grace Berger, because they had too many guards. That's my guess. I'm just thinking that's what they did. Because you got to remember that both let me see. Actually, where's this? Oh, hang on a second. I have this. Indiana Fever contracts. Hang on a second. Bookmark this. So when I looked at let me see. I just got this. I got this about their. I had this thing on their contracts. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay. Oh, I know. I got to go on the bookmarks. Why isn't it doing that? Oh, jeez. Okay. So when I was looking at this, it seems to me that Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall can also play the guard position. So I never told you that, Bobby. No, I was trying to. I thought I was on another tab when I tried to pull up this thing on contracts. Yeah, Bonner and Howard definitely definitely helps. If you've never been in the finals before, you get a little nervous. You don't think Caitlin Clark's going to be nervous the first finals he plays in? Even Caitlin Clark. I think I read Howard Joseph. I think Howard's deal was a 2-year deal. But it's not clear because I'm looking at the contract things that's set up here. And no, now it says 1 year. Oh, they updated this. All right, I'll take that back. It's saying Howard's a 1-year deal for $214,000. Bonner, they still don't have an amount on it. Saxton was making $64,000. She's gone. So well, Lexi Hall and Sophie Cunningham can play guard positions if they need to. They can play shooting guards. I'm not worried about that. I don't know. I still like the fact I still like Grace Berger being on the team to give him she could develop that way. Boxing Bulldog, you're leaving? Anyway, all right, so yeah, Lynn Dunn signed Katie Lou Samuelson and Christy Wallace to guaranteed contracts, and Wallace was a 4-year contract, and she wasn't good enough to sign a contract, and Katie Lou Samuelson was way overpaid. So those are the problems, but they end this year, so next year they won't have to deal with that. So, anyways, here's my predictions. My prediction is Caitlin Clark will win the MVP this year, and the Fever will win the championship this year. I don't have anything against Saxon except for the fact that she should have been waived instead of Celeste Taylor. And she should have been waived before they waived Grace Berger. But that's my prediction. I think they actually will win the championship this year, and Caitlin Clark will be MVP, and she'll be the best player by the end of the year. And I think they're going to be a dynasty. In the next 10 years, I can see them winning 5 championships with Caitlin Clark at the helm because she'll be the best player in the league. I would say 5 championships in 10 years, at least 5 MVPs for Caitlin Clark in 10 years. And they're going to win the MVP, and Caitlin Clark's going to be MVP and win the championship this year. I can see them being a dynasty easily. Oh, Asia Wilson will cry no matter what happens. If she doesn't win the MVP award every year, she'll cry. Pull a Moore. Who's Moore? Oh. Why would she? Oh, you mean not in the next 10 years. I think she may retire early. She may retire at 35 to have a family. Or she may stop to have a kid because she doesn't want to have kids when she's in her 40s. Maya Moore. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you said Moore, and then I said pull a Moore. And then I figured it out. Yeah, she had a side issue about a guy who was in jail who she ended up marrying and have a kid with. But I was hoping Deladonna, isn't she still a free agent? Nobody wanted her? I heard she was unrestricted now. She's not a great defender, but right? She would have been a good 1-year contract signer. Maybe they're going to sign her. Did they really give away tickets, Bobby, or are you making that up? You don't see Clark playing 12 plus years? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long she'll play. She's awful competitive. My guess is she plays a long time. The only thing that's going to stop her is having kids. I don't know why Deladonna was. I thought they might sign her because at first last year she was cored, but I heard they didn't core her this year, so she could have signed with anybody. That's what I heard. When they gave up that draft pick, I wasn't happy, but then when I thought about it later on, it didn't bother me as much. But their draft picks wouldn't make the team right now. They have 12 players. They can't get rid of. They don't have any money for them because they can't get rid of Wallace or Samuelson because they're guaranteed contracts. Everybody else they want on the team. Jaylen Brown, she looks like a good player. I don't know why she hasn't been in the league. She certainly seems athletic. She's fast. She looks like Mitchell. Maya Moore is like 35, 36 or something like that. I was hoping she'd come back this year just to play with Caitlin Clark for a year or two. I know, that's what I said. That's why it wasn't a big deal. They lost their draft pick. They don't have money for a first-round draft pick. Although I don't think they have any money left over. We'll see. Yeah, Samuelson might be able to contribute a little this year. She didn't play well last year, but she may have played herself back into shape by playing in the Unrivaled. I mean, she has some talent, and she plays well with Clark. And I think she can hit the 3 if she gets her game down. So I think she's a little slow, though, but she's lost weight, so she's be faster this year. So, yeah, I mean, they have 12 players on their roster right now. What are they going to do when they draft somebody? So the 19th pick, they're not likely to make the team. Who are they going to replace? Yeah, I think there's going to be playing time issues. Brown will go. I don't know. I like the highlights I saw of her. Let's just see what happens. You're going to have to get a player at the 19th pick in the draft is better than Brown. If that was the case, they wouldn't have released Grace Berger. I'm still not comfortable with that, releasing Grace Berger. I thought she was a versatile enough player to play 6 minutes at point and then play a little point, a few minutes of shooting guard if they really needed her. And she wouldn't complain. She'd be happy with the 6 to 12 minutes she gets. Yeah, at the 19th pick. Olsen for Iowa. That's what, Mick was saying that. Olsen might be available at 19th. No, I'm not obsessing over Grace Berger. Other people are bigger fans of Grace Berger than I am. I don't think she ever got a chance to show how good she is. I don't know how good she is, but I thought she had enough talent to play 6 minutes of a backup point guard on a talented team. Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, Olsen and Van Lith and Olsen are both good enough to be backup point guards for 6 minutes a game, in my opinion. 6 minutes, that's all. Caitlin Clark needs to play around 34 minutes. But I don't know what they're going to do for their backup. What if Caitlin Clark gets hurt? This team's in trouble if Caitlin Clark gets hurt. They have no real point guard. People get injured. I feel more comfortable with a backup point guard, a true point guard. That's why I didn't like the Grace Berger move. But Olsen will be gone before 19. And Van Lith and Olsen will both be gone because all you need is one of them. They're both good enough to play 6 minutes in this league, in my opinion. So the only problem is she can't shoot the three, but she doesn't need to shoot the three when she's the point guard because she's not playing when Caitlin Clark is playing. So she doesn't have to be open for the three. She's got a nice 2-point game. She can pass a little. She hustles on defense. Yeah, so Van Lith and Olsen, if they're both available at 19, that'd be an interesting decision. But I don't know if they'll both be available. I think they're going to be gone by then. I have not seen Jajori Amora play, but I heard she's good, and she's playing well. And her team is winning, right? The announcers were drooling over Juju Watson last night, even though she didn't play that well. I don't know. She's getting calls. They'll get it big in 19. I don't even know how the draft picks are going to make the team. I don't know. They must. They took Jaylen Brown in the trade for a reason, because they saw something and they and they waived Grace Berger for a reason. So I don't know if they're any draft pick, second round draft picks that are going to make that team. Yeah, I heard of Morris. I've never seen her play. I heard she was good though. Right now, I would vote for Juju Watkins as the fourth best player for Player of the Year in college. That's what I would vote for her, and at best, Paige is the fifth best player. I think Hannah Dago is the best player. Lotson and what's her name? What's her name? Oh. Lauren Betts. They've all played better than Juju Watkins. Yeah. All three of those have played better than Juju Watkins this year. I'm not arguing about who has more talent or who's going to be better in the WNBA. I'm just saying right now, if I was voting for Player of the Year, she would be my fourth vote. And at best, Paige would be my fifth vote. That's at best. I think there's a lot of people that you could say are fifth. Sophie Cunningham's not an enforcer. Mick just makes up stuff. He's been saying some dumb things lately. Sorry. It will be interesting who makes first. You'd still take Paige over Juju? Wow. I don't know about that. In college or in the future, Basil? You take it right now as a player over Juju? It's pretty close. I'm just saying that neither one of them would be my top three for Player of the Year. And they were the two favorites when the season started. No, I think Juju will be a great player. I wish the media would quit trying to say she's the face of women's college basketball and the best thing since sliced bread, because that's hurting her. I agree with you. Yeah, Sophie has some feistiness to her, but I don't think she's an enforcer. I can see Dwana Bonner is a little bit of an enforcer, and I think Natasha Howard seems kind of tough. I think Natasha Howard would back up Caitlin Clark if someone took a cheap shot at her. Heaven forbid this team didn't this year. She's a toothpick, but she's feisty. How much does Howard weigh? Let me see. What's her name? Natasha Howard. What does she weigh? She doesn't look like she's 140. I think she seems looks kind of tough. She's 6'2", 165. Natasha Howard. Yeah, Howard is. I am convinced that. Yeah. Boxing and Bulldog knows about reach because with his name. 6'4", he got those long arms. She's. Am I thinking of Olivia Miles? No, I don't know. Olivia Miles has not been playing great lately, but I believe Caitlin Clark will get better calls from the ref this year, partly because of their coach, and partly because the cheap shots will be fewer this year because they're going to have a tougher team. Maybe the refs will just say, "Hey, we've been unfair to her. She had her rookie dues. Maybe we'll just stop doing that to her because she got screwed over in calls last year so much. It's unbelievable." Thomas Hearns, best short boxing match ever. Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns. That is the best boxing match I ever saw. That was a short bout. I couldn't believe it. That second round was unbelievable. Yeah, you know what? 2026 will be a different team. Fine. Here's the thing. People will want to come to the Fever to play. They'll have no time. They'll have no problem picking up free agents every year. That's why they'll have a dynasty, because Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell's good for another 3-4 years, and Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark are good for another 10 or 12 years. So, I'm sorry, this team's going to be a dynasty. Caitlin Clark makes everyone better. All those people who thought Caitlin Clark was going to be a bust are going to have mud on their face within the next 2 years. Lots of mud. They already have it now, but they're going to have even more mud. They won't be able to wipe the mud off. There'll be so much mud on their face. Yep. Juju stat padding. She shot more last year, though. But that's because she didn't have as much talent on her team last year. So she was like the whole team. Joseph, what's up? Yes, there was comments made that the Fever wouldn't be able to get free agents. I said that's like the stupidest comments I've ever seen, where they're saying they weren't going to get free agents. It's like, are you serious? Who wouldn't want to play with because one person said they wouldn't because they don't want to be the third or fourth person on the team. You do when you want a championship and you're willing to sacrifice. You know what? If you want to be the person, go play for a lousy team and see how happy you are playing for a lousy team. Unless you're a great player, you're never going to be the man and still win a championship. So that's why I was not concerned about them getting free agents. It was just a question of which ones, and they picked a good team. Yeah, that's the problem with this other league is you can get injured, and there's a lot of people getting injured. I would rather them just increase the season for the WNBA, which they're going to do every year, which finally, and that will bring in more revenue, and that'll bring up the salaries. And if they quit Essen on Caitlin Clark, the league become more popular. Marcus is the gay one, not me. Oh, I'm like the least gay person that's in broadcasting. Mark and Rob. Rob's not here tonight. Do you think, Mark and Rob, do you think who will average 20 plus points with the new pieces? You mean Caitlin Clark? I think Caitlin Clark will average 22 points a game with this team and 10 assists. And probably her rebounds will go down to around 5. Yeah, Rob's still in Japan. I had a stash once. I had it for like a year and I shaved it off. Mark is a very alpha heterosexual male. I don't know about that. Not feminine, I'm not gay. That's all you need to know. Anyways, Boston's getting in shape. Good point. She wasn't in shape when the season started last year. I was disappointed in her. So, really, Mark? It was that good? I watched it. It was a good game. The first quarter was amazing. It was up. They were at 8. What they were 18-1. They almost ended the quarter with 1 point until Juju Watkins hit a 3. They scored 4 points in the first quarter. I was in shock. How is a team that can only score 4 points in the first quarter against a non-ranked team going to win the championship? I might not realize it, but I'm gay. My eldest brother's gay. I have 4 older brothers and a younger sister. Juju's not all that. No, she's overrated. Paige is overrated. She's overrated. Sorry, and it's the media because they were dying for someone to replace Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark even got her foot in the door. They were pushing Caitlin Clark out the door in college. Remember that article by that woman at USA Today, Lindsay something, where said that Juju Watkins and Anna Hidalgo are women of color and people are taking notice and it's important for them to be the face of the league and the face of the women's basketball? They were pushing Caitlin Clark out even before she graduated from college. O'Grady is shooting a nice percentage this year. She's a decent player. Too bad she's not faster and have a little bit more motor to her. She needs to be a little bit more athletic. But they beat a USC team. I was impressed. I don't think the USC team is going to win a championship. Can you see USC beating either UCLA or South Carolina? I mean, they'd have to beat one of them, right? Maybe both. I just don't see that happening. She was overruled by. Yeah, I don't know if they're losing the Sweet 16, but they're not making the finals. I just don't see it. They're not a good enough team. And that announcer said that what was it? Kiki, what's her name? I forgot how to pronounce her last name. The announcer said she was underrated. I think she's overrated. What's her name? Kiki. If nobody's talking about Duke and their freshmen who can dunk. It's Toby. I guess Rob says it's Fournier. I don't know. She's actually plays 19 minutes a game, and she's their leading scorer and their leading rebounder. For some reason, they won't start her. Someone explain that to me. She's their leading scorer, leading rebounder, and she doesn't start. What was okay? Scores. No. These announcers are so biased. Kiki IRA. I don't know how you pronounce her last name. I think she's overrated. The announcer, sports commentator, I forget her name, said she was underrated. I don't know where she's getting that from. It will be interesting to see. There's a lot of talent in women's basketball, college basketball. Who makes first, second, and team All-American? If CC passes Angel's double record, yeah, with assists, which are, by the way, they're like one. I think they're like 1/5 as common or 1/6 as common as a double with points. Iowa's 3 top prospects signed for next year. Really? What's a top prospect to you? Kiki D. Don't go breaking my heart. What? Really? Because I saw. I don't see what really. I think I have that saved in my bookmarks. I was getting that many people. Wait a minute. I don't have that saved. Oh no. So Aliyah Chavez hasn't decided what school she's going to go to yet, and neither is the number 4. Agat Makir. I don't know who she is, but what a weird name. All right. Okay. So Joseph, who's not saying Caitlin Clark isn't either the best or one of the best passers ever? Who's not saying that? I don't understand your comment. Sedona Prince. If she's available at 19 or 18, I don't know if she'll be available at that point. She's pretty good. I know she didn't have a good game the other day, but Caitlin Clark's always crying and playing the victim. Oh, well, yeah, I don't agree with that, Joseph. It's like the best scorers ever scored the more points. Is that really what you want to say? Whoever scores the most points is the best scorer. What if the person takes 100 shots? What if you have the most assists and you have just as many turnovers as assists? Are you still the best point? It doesn't make any sense to me, Joseph, that you only use one factor to determine who's the best passer. Sorry. And I don't think you can too many people agree with that. Bobby, you'll be happy because I think Caitlin Clark will be the best player in the league by the end of the year. I'm counting it down, how many games it'll take before I say it. What's my over-under? All right, over-under Caitlin Clark establishing herself as the best player in the league by the general public, not by Bobby. Let me think about that. 44 games. Half the season is 22. All right, game 23. Over under half the season. Glenn says 10 games. Because I don't think she is, but I think her defense will improve because of Stephanie White. And I think all her numbers will improve, except for maybe her rebounding, because they have more rebounding now, so she won't have to rebound as much. But that doesn't mean she's not going to rebound as well. She might go down to like 5. Her assists should go up to 10, as long as they play her with like 34 minutes and not 30. Your scoring should go up. Her shooting percentage should go up. Her free throw percentage really can't go much higher. It was like 90, 91%. Unanimous MVP? That won't happen. Even if she deserves it, that won't happen. There's at least one vote that she won't get. The same person that voted for Angel Reese last year. Okay, all you guys got to make a bet. Over under 23 games, Caitlin Clark established herself as the best player in the league by the general public, general consensus. Or like even ESPN has to say it. I saw, what's her name? Chime Agumake, or whatever her name is. I saw the excerpt she had where she said that Caitlin Clark is the needle, and then she went on for like 2 minutes and finally admitted it. I've already voted for Caitlin Clark for MVP, by the way. Somebody said that before, and someone goes, "Do you have a vote?" I go, "No, I don't have a vote." But I figure if they can vote for Asia Wilson after game 2, I can vote for in the preseason. They moved it up from half season to game 2. I can move it up from game 2 to preseason. That's a smaller jump than they made. Fever 40-4. No, that'd be amazing. That'd be like no injuries too. Yeah, I understand. That's a hard definition. ESPN, it's going to take it's going to take a long time for, especially the black women on ESPN, to admit that Caitlin Clark is the best player in the league. It's going to take them a long time to say that. It won't be until she is probably way past the best player before they'll finally admit it. So I agree. It's a hard definition. How about we go with Dan Patrick? When Dan Patrick says Caitlin Clark looks like the best player in the league, how about we go with Dan Patrick? He didn't think she should be on the Olympic team, but she said she was clearly Rookie of the Year, so he seems kind of neutral. There, he said a lot of good things about Caitlin Clark. If they win over 26, they're going to win way over 26. They should have won 25 or 26 with the roster they had last year. If Stephanie White was coach last year, they would have won 25 or 26 games. Sorry, all those close games. They lost 6 close games. They could have won all of those with a real coach. So there's no way they're going to win over 26. That would have happened just because they were an older team, a more experienced team than they were the year before. Yeah, they're definitely going to win close to 35 games. Yeah, so does what's his name? I don't have any respect for mixed opinions, so that doesn't mean anything. Ben Daniels podcast. He doesn't like Asia Wilson's game, so he thinks Caitlin Clark is the second best player in the league too, after Nafisa Collier. So he agrees with Mick on that one, but I don't agree with. I think that Asia Wilson was still better than Nafisa Collier last year by a tiny bit, and I think Nafisa Collier was still better than Caitlin Clark, and so was Brianna Stewart. But that's it. That's as far as I'm going. Oh, Mick kept saying every player is the perfect player. That's his favorite thumbnail in a video, is say someone's a perfect player. Okay, I have a question. Here's a question for everybody. I don't believe Mick watches as much women's basketball as he claims. There's no way. He doesn't have time to. And I don't have an answer to this yet. I haven't put much thought into it yet, but here's my question. I want some answers. There's 23 people on this thread. I want at least 20 answers. What will be the Fever's longest winning streak? Vadim says 11. Do I hear 12? Yeah, Mick was evaluating the top 10 women's player in the last 10 years. He didn't even know Asia Wilson was player of the year. Sorry. That was bizarre to me. How could he not know Asia Wilson was player of the year and be supposedly be this super expert on women's basketball and this fanatic? I knew that. I didn't even follow women's basketball. I knew that when she won it. Sorry, I don't know. That was bizarre to me. 10? We got 18 games straight. Wow. We got between 8 and 18. 13. Let me think. I don't know what my answer is. I'm thinking. They're definitely going to go on a big winning streak sometime in the year. They're definitely going on a big winning streak. $44. That'd be amazing if they went 44-0. They're not that strong a team. It's interesting. I don't know. What was the biggest winning streak last year? Did they win 5 straight last year? What was their? Let me look that up. Do you guys remember what their biggest winning streak was last year? Let's see. Oops. All right, let me look it up. 2024. Yep, they won 5 straight last year. August 26th to September 4th. They won 5 straight last year. That was their winning streak last year. Yep, Dennis, you're right. 5. Oh, well, you can look up their schedule, Dennis. Oh, Whatever it was, praised Lynn Dunn for it. Lynn Dunn praised Sides for it. It's so obvious that, was it Lynn Dunn or Liz Dunn? I get always mixed up. Lynn Dunn. Which one was it? What's her name? Lynn Dunn or Liz Dunn? That is Lynn Dunn, yeah. She looks old. How many games did New York Liberty win? 8 games? All right, I just go with an even 10. 10 straight games will be the longest winning streak. That's twice what they had last year. I'm just going to go for even 10. And it's 2 more what the Liberty did because I think they're a better team. Can you imagine this team if Lynn Dunn and Christy Sides was still there? I said, Rob, we were talking about this. Rob thought it was 70% that Christy Sides was coming back. And I said, no, it's more like 30% she's coming back. I said, you can't leave that coach in there if you want to win a championship. And you want to do that with Caitlin Clark. And no free agents are going to sign her if she was here. Well, they got rid of her. Okay, so for those who didn't say, what do you think? What do you think will be the Fever's record? What do you think will be the Fever's record? If you didn't say it already, there's 44 games. Just as a reminder. What do you think will the Fever's record be? And the new facilities would help too. But that wasn't, isn't that like 2027? Okay. And let me see what other question I didn't want to. Oh, yeah. Sonny's confident, 40-4. Will the Fever All right. Yes or no on this one? Will the Fever win the championship? If yes, what will the finals 7-game series be? Example, in 6 or 4 games, 2. All right. It's a 7-game series next year, Vadim. Yeah, it'd be. I think the refs are going to cost them a couple games, so who knows? Yeah, the refs may make it hard for them to actually do better than 4-2 or 4-3. The refs are going to give at least a game to the other team. I agree, Bobby, but I still don't think they're going to get the benefit of the calls. I mean, Caden Clark's whistle can't be any worse this year than it was last year. I am not a homer type guy. I'm an objective type guy. I've never seen a player get a worse whistle than Caden Clark in watching basketball since 1969. We all know why. We don't know exactly why with the refs, but just because each ref may have their own reasons. But yeah, still, there's a lot of close games in basketball, even when you're the better team. It's not like they're gonna blow every team out by 30 points 44 times. They're gonna win some close games, and those close games can be decided by the refs. I do agree that they can decide fewer games when you have the best team in the league. Fever 4, Liberty 3. That's definitely a possibility. But even some of the calls against Caitlin Clark, like travel when she didn't travel, fouls when it was incidental contact, things like that. They bring in Mahomes rest for CC. Let me see if I have any more questions for my intelligent group here. Let's see what else if I ask. All right. I got another question for you. Let me know if I've get too many questions. I figured it's a good day to do it. All right. There's my next question. Will Caitlin Clark win the MVP? If yes, who will be second in the voting? If no, who will win? Assuming Caitlin Clark will probably be in the top 3 in the voting. If she gets injured. AJ Wilson's already unanimous MVP again, 2 years in a row. That was last year. They can't do it again. Well, they can. I guess they can. I already told Bobby she's going to be past the third best player. She's going to be the best player by the end of the year. I've already gotten Rob signed to a 1-week contract to help her with her defense. Von Phillips wants to know the Super Bowl pick and score. Okay. I think I came up with a score. I'm picking the Eagles 27-24. Chiefs. Vadim's picking the Chiefs. Basil, who you picking? Paige Beckers. She can't even win Player of the Year as a senior. Your question? What was your question, Mark? Did I miss your question? What was your question? Sorry. I missed something when I was typing. What was your question? I saw Bobby's question. I ignore him when he talks about the fourth best player in the league. He's obsessed with that. Yeah, I said Eagles 27-24. Will Cunningham get tied up by protecting CC? Mark, is that the question you're talking about? I had to scroll up to get it. Teed up by protecting Kate and Clark? Probably. I hope so. I hope a lot of players get teed up protecting Kate and Clark because they didn't last year. Yeah, I think a couple people will get teed up protecting Kate and Clark this year. I think they will protect Kate and Clark this year. I think last year they were a bunch of wimps. I wasn't critical enough of the team last year for not sticking up for Kate and Clark because I don't really want to see women fighting and throwing punches, which is what's going to happen if you stick up too much for them. And I don't like cheap shots, but at the same time, they didn't protect Kate and Clark enough, and they didn't even like get in the people's face a little bit, or even just give them dirty looks, or give them a push here or a shove there. They didn't do anything in response to Kate and Clark getting cheap shots. They're a bunch of wimps. The only time Wallace stood up to one woman at one time after they got called out for it, after it was like, I forget, it was Carrington again or something like that. But other than that, there was nothing. They just didn't have it. I mean, their biggest person is Aaliyah Boston, and she's too soft. She's too nice. Oh, yeah. Howard, Cunningham, and Bonner. It'll be different this year. And Lexi Hall is too nice, too. I don't think Lexi Hall would get in someone's face or push somebody. But I think Bonner would. I think Howard would. And I think Cunningham would. Even though the two of them are skinny, I still think they're feisty. So, yeah, they'll show guts this year. I think they heard the criticism of Caitlin Clark's teammates last year, and they're aware of it. Yeah. Yeah, but Wheeler's too small. She's not. Wheeler had her back, but she didn't really like shove anyone down on the ground or get in anyone's face too much. But she was a little feisty on a few things. Yeah. Wallace did one incident. I'm telling you that was it was the only one. She got in a woman's face and just stood right there and said, "Hey, you're not going after her." But she didn't push anybody. She didn't swear anybody. But she stood in front of a person and gave a mean look. I was impressed with that. That was like the only thing I saw all year. No, that's true. I think Alyssa Thomas would be less likely to do something than Caitlin Clark because her girl's on the team. She's gonna have to go home to her that night because what are you doing taking cheap shots at my teammate for? I wouldn't want to have to go home to that. Right, that's true. Yeah, I think Wallace would have stood up for her more if she was playing, but but no one. She didn't even do that until after she heard the criticism from the NBA players were the first ones. Who was the one that had that whole rant about that? What was his name? I just heard it on a video recently too. That was it was an ex NBA player, and he called out the women on the team. It's like a 3-minute rant. I forgot who it was. I can't remember his name. But I didn't call him out at first, and then I realized I should have called him out. I think I was slow to call him out. Berkeley, is that who it was? I think it was an ex NBA player too. I would say Charles Oakley, or who was it? Was it with Mason? Was it Mason? Marty McSorley. No, it wasn't Barkley. It was someone else. It wasn't Barkley. Now, Barkley said something, but it was some other ex-player, less famous. He went like a 3-minute rant. I just heard this on someone's video recently. Oh, I can't remember what the name was. It was a good rant too. I have mixed feelings about it because I don't like see women throwing punches. I don't like to see fights. I don't like see taking cheap shots and people getting injured. So Lucy Olsen, or Haley Van Lith. That one of those two. That'd be nice. But like I said, they don't even have room for them on the roster. They have no money and they have no spots. I don't know. Jaylene Brown looked awful athletic to me. They're all pretty. I understand. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I think that they play too physical for their own good and for the good of the sport. But 10 years from now, I guarantee you 10 years from now, this sport, this league will be less physical than it is now. It'll be a slow process, though. And I'm hoping this year is the start of it with them calling the game tighter and less physical. Alyssa Thomas is dirty. Let's be honest about that. I don't like her. She's dirty. Van Lith be a good pick. I agree. Yeah, they're never going to live it down that Caitlin Clark didn't win in high school or in college. They're going to keep saying that no matter. She could win 10 championships in a row, and they're going to say, well, she couldn't win one in college. She had a stacker team. That's what they'll say. They'll look at the Caitlins. What do you call them? the Caitlins or Haitlins, the Caitlins, that was the name Chicks did this podcast. Someone, I don't know who made it up. The Haitlins, even if she wins 10 MVPs and 10 titles in a row, they'll say, oh, they stacked her team. She couldn't win in college. She couldn't win in high school. They're never going to give her credit. So just, I don't care what they say. My opinion is what matters and not theirs, because they're not objective. Thomas is dirty. Let's be honest. Yes, I agree, Christine. It's exactly why they're physical. It's because they don't have the talent, and so they use that physicality, and that's what they don't like about Caitlin Clark. It's because she's able to play without being physical and dirty, and be successful and efficient and productive. But this will not be, in 10 years from now, it will not be as physical. How much less physical? I don't know. They're going to go, kicking and scratching, because that's what they're used to for 28 years. All right, Dennis, see you later. Do I think Bonner Thomas is going to be like Smith Carrington? No, I don't think so. Smith is a wimp. She's just a wimp. She's mentally weak. That's why Carrington controls everything. I don't think Bonner's mentally weak. And she's older too. So it's not the same situation. Smith is like 4 years younger than Carrington, and Carrington controls her. He'll be okay. You guys are overthinking it. Bonner's there to play ball. She's only going to play against 1 out of 14 games, right? They play 14 teams. Yeah, 1 out of 14 times they're going to play against them. They'll play 3 or 4 times this year. You guys act like she's playing against her girlfriend every game. Smith makes bad decisions with the ball to dribbles into it. Yes, and she's Nessa Smith. I don't think Nessa Smith is very bright, which is why her games never progress, because she has the athletic ability to be an excellent player. No, I don't agree, Boxing Bulldog. If they call the whistles more, they will be less physical, and so they don't have to call the whistles as much in the future. I don't agree with that at all. It will be at first, but once they realize they're going to get called for the fouls that they're not getting called for now, they'll stop committing those fouls, and then there'll be fewer whistles. So I don't agree with you. Paige and Juju won't have a college championship either. Well, I don't know. Paige isn't going to get one, because I don't think UConn can win this year. But Juju has 3 more years. I don't think she's going to get one this year. But is Kiki a senior? What is she? You guys know if Kiki's a senior? What's her name? I don't know. Let me just see, because she's going to lose. Although she's overrated, she's going to lose a good player, right? Oh, the new rankings came out today. I forgot about that. USC dropped to number 7. Let's see, what is Kiki if she's a senior, so she's going to lose a good player. Like I said, I think she's overrated, but she's going to lose a good player next year. So I don't know if she'll ever win her title. We'll see. But they'll make excuses for that. Suddenly the goalposts will move. Whoops. What happened? The goalposts will move. If Paige and Juju both don't win a title, that goalpost will move about the suddenly not winning the title won't be that important anymore. Who's the race? Who are you calling a racist, Bobby? Let me see this. Someone said that Iowa had 3 picks this year. Good picks. Okay, so Iowa. Who was that said that? Iowa's got 18, 70, and 85. Yeah, they only got one. That's only one big pick, though. But at least they got 3 in the top 100. You start seeing more flopping. Journey, Houston. Yeah, they have 3. That's what I found, 3, but only one is really high. One's 18. It says, I just looked it up. It's according to ESPN, you have the 18, the 70, and the 80, 85th. Layla Hayes, Journey Houston, and the number 18 pick. Which is Addison Deal. But only one of them is really high up. She's 18th. That's not bad, though. It's more than they used to get, probably. I don't know what I didn't really keep track of what they got in the past, but yeah, I don't see what Bonner sees in Alyssa Taylor. She's not a likable person. Yeah, Carrington and Smith are like, yeah, I agree. They're very immature. I mean, I know they're in their 20s, but that they act like teenagers. Yeah, Alyssa Thomas. I think being a punk is immature too. And being dirty is immature too. It's immature behavior. But the other two, they act like immature all the time, off and on the court. Carrington seems like a psycho to me. Don't tickle the elephant. Yeah. Well, it's not Alyssa Thomas's choice. It's Bonner's choice. You guys act like they're a couple, but that doesn't mean they're not separate individuals. Bonner wants to win a championship. That's really all it amounts to. Everybody wants to win a championship. It's way more fun when you win the title at the end of the year, especially when you're not getting paid a lot. And a lot of these players are not, for professional athletes anyways. Carrington is super hot, though. I don't even know what her face looks like. She has so much makeup on and all those long eyelashes and stuff. And I have no idea what her face really looks like and all that hair. How close was I to that plane crash? Driving wise, almost 20, 25 minutes away, maybe 15 miles. So it wasn't that close to me. It was a mall up north. I'm in the center of the city, and it was way up north. Philadelphia is a big city. You guys are obsessed with Bonner and Alyssa Thomas. Yeah, that plane crash was a shame, but a person on the ground died too afterwards. 6 people in the plane, then one on the ground. A lot of people were injured. The fire, there was a lot of fires going on. Some houses caught on fire. If anyone wants to donate to the channel, there's super chats and super thanks down below. I don't know if Rob will be back in town in a couple of days, and I'm actually gonna do some videos. And I don't know if he has to work Monday night or not, so I don't know if he's gonna be back next Monday, but he'll be back in town for next Monday's show. Yeah, both plane crashes were very sad. The other one, like 70 people died. The one in DC with the helicopter. I don't know. And unless a person's evil, I don't like to see anyone die. It's too bad that we have to die. How many beers have you had? Talking about me? Or are you talking about boxing bulldogs? Okay. I haven't had anything to drink tonight. But for the first game, that's what I said, Bobby. I have no idea what Dejanay Carrington really looks like. She wears a lot of makeup, a lot of hair, and a lot of fake, big, long eyelashes. But she does have a good body. I saw pictures on Instagram. I think she's a very talented athlete and defensive player. I don't think she's that talented offensively. All right. Bye, Mark. I said this before. I think Kennedy Carter and Dejanay Carrington, players like that. No, there's lots of women in the WNBA whose bodies I don't like. In fact, most of them. But yeah, everything's fake. Yeah, I don't actually, because Alyssa Smith's not an attractive woman, so I'm not sure why the two of them are together. All right. You guys are going to the anyways, I'm gonna do some solo videos, ones that Rob doesn't need part of. So I figure out how to do certain things. Caitlin, have you seen pictures of Caitlin? Have you seen pictures of Kate Martin's girlfriend? She is better looking than anyone in the WNBA. I couldn't believe what I saw. Kate Martin's girlfriend is better looking than anyone in the WNBA. It's not even close. Yes, she's better looking than anyone in the WNBA. Kate Martin's girlfriend. Yes, Vadim. Anyone in the WNBA. I can't say that any clearer. She's young too. She's like 22 or 23 years old, I think. Um, I had a project. I have another business having to do with legal recruiting, and I had to get some new. I had to do a lot of research for the channel and get new software and hire somebody. So Rob is in Japan, but I will start putting videos out again tomorrow. I had a bunch of demonstrations I had to do for software programs and hiring somebody. Just a lot. I had a lot of research I had to do. I've been really busy. I agree with Vadim. That's my assessment of Caitlin Clark. I don't watch her for her looks, but she's fine looking. You know, she's okay. She's average to above average, slightly above average. Yeah. Well, Kate's girl is a real lipstick lesbian, really? She just looked like a regular girl to me. You'd give her a 7? Wow. I give her a 6. Her personality is like a 9.5, though. Who's got a picture of Kate's girl? Just look it up on the internet, Joseph. I can send you a link. I don't know. I saw it. It was like, I think she's on Instagram. On Kate Martin. She might be on Kate Martin's Instagram. Look up Kate Martin's Instagram. I think there's pictures of her. Yeah, I don't think Caitlin Clark has a great body. Sorry. She's got nice legs. Let's rate Bobby. Bobby, let me see a picture of you. Yes, Caitlin Clark has a great personality. Um, Ray has joined my top 5. Oh yeah, I saw Ray. She's the one with a really cute smile too, right? Like really cute smile, if I remember correctly. That was the one that you picked up, you mentioned last week. I'm a sucker for a nice smile. Look at Manuel's photo. I'm a lot better looking than that. Manuel who? Mark is like the CC of YouTube. Looks not game. Ray Burrell. Yeah, she has. I think she has a nice. If that's the one I'm thinking of, she had a really cute smile. Hannah Hidalgo. All right. Christine's tapping out because of the guy's talking about women's looks. Who's Manuel? Is that the guy that killed the? Is that the guy that killed the healthcare executive? All right, you guys, if you guys put me pictures of you guys up so we can see who's better looking, me or you. It starts making look like a used condom. Jay, I'll ban you off this channel in 2 seconds. Rob is hot. Oh, well, who's Manuel? Who he's talking about? Who's Manuel then? I don't even know who he's talking about. Manuel's in the chat. Oh, Rob is the main angel of YouTube. All right. No comment. I don't comment. Okay, I never said Angel has a perfect body. I said she has a near perfect body. Those are my exact words. It's on tape. And she does. She's got a great body. Her face is average. Her personality sucks. And half her game sucks. I did too. All right, I'm going to pull it. How much you want to bet, Basil? Basil, if I pull it and find it, how much you going to give me? Come on. How much are you going to give me if I pull that? How much are you going to donate to my channel? Cuz I'm 100% sure what I said. Okay, I'm 100% sure what I said. You're not giving any more shit. Now that you won't ever stop doing that, Basil. It's in your nature. you're like the what's that story about the oh gosh. It goes across the river. What was that story? It's in my nature. Stepped in by Asia. I think Nafisa Collier is really cute. I said near perfect body. I may have said it fast, but that's what I said. Which she does. She's 6'3". All right. I'll pull what week was it that I said that? I'll pull the tape out. How much you guys all have to donate to the channel? At least $20 if I pull it out and I said near. I'm 100% sure what I said. I have no reason to change it. I mean, what's the difference? There's not a big difference between the two, but there is. I don't say perfect bodies and something like that. I don't even say that about women that have perfect bodies, that they have perfect bodies. But if you tell me what week it is, I'll pull. It's on. Well, it's on the channel. I just don't know what week we were talking about it. It was about 5 weeks ago, probably. Rob was on the show that week. Well, OJ did kill 2 people. Let's put it that. I know that. I would have found OJ guilty in a heartbeat if I was on the jury. All right, now I'm gonna pull it, and you guys are all gonna apologize and donate to the channel because I know Rob was on the air with me that day. Well, what can I say? I'll never forget in Silence and Sam's when they were talking about killers and why they do it. Well, what can I say? That's fine. You guys are all betting me $20. How many people are in for the $20 bet? I know what I said. And I want an apology too. Because I have to go back and play the whole thing to find it. It was pretty early in the evening, I think. And Rob was on there that day. So I know it wasn't on there because I know Rob was on the channel. You blacked out. So now you're you're backing out already. I heard you. Okay. That's not really the argument. Now you're pretending you didn't hear anything else. Okay. I'm going to end the show and I'm going to go find it because you guys are annoying. Because I know exactly what I said. Anyways, next week, we're 15 minutes over. I'm going to pull it. And I want an apology from each one of you. I want it typed out. I want you to call into the show. I want you to apologize, everything. Because you guys are relentless, and I know exactly what I said. You all broke, Mark. No. All right, I'm going anyways. I got to go. I got things to do. I got to make some videos for you guys. The first one is not on Caitlin Clark. The first one's on Vince Lombardi and Bill Belichick. And then I'll do one on what happened with Caitlin Clark and everything. Anyway. All right. We'll talk to you next Monday. No, I got to go find. It's going to take me a few minutes to find that bit because you guys won't pretend. You guys are pretending I said something I didn't. I don't like being accused of doing something I didn't do. So, anyways, I don't have to pull it live. I'll play it live for you. Yeah, you guys can't edit it, so I can. But anyways, I'll find it. Anyways, see you guys later. Next Monday, I'll have some videos out tomorrow. All right. Okay. I know what I said. All right. Take care. Bye.